Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Maddie. I've been wanting to make this very important video for a long time. It has a lot to do with what I've been going through the past 10 months. Past pregnancy, past having a baby, I've had so many more complications of my own that I've been dealing with, and I thought it's time to finally talk about it. Those of you that were around during my pregnancy, just watching my tweets or my stories or anything but my very few YouTube videos, you understand why I was gone. One of the biggest things I've gotten after having the baby is, wow, Maddie, like you snapped back, that's amazing. I've gotten a lot of, oh, you look so good. I've gotten a lot of, you've lost a lot of weight. Straight up, like, you weren't pregnant and then had a baby. You were pregnant and then lost a lot of weight. How did that happen? It's very simple, very complicated, apparently, explanation. I've tried to explain it many times. The only way to get this through to you guys is to make a video. So I'm talking about my condition called HG. It's a condition you only get during pregnancy. It's not something I have anymore. It actually went away right after I gave birth. The scientific name is hyperemus gravidarum, which I'm not even sure if I say that correctly. I've had to say it so many times, but still don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. The best way to explain this is just, I guess, start from the beginning when I found out I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant because I got really depressed, like randomly. Even though I have depression, it was just a different kind. The day I found out I was pregnant was the first day I couldn't eat anymore, and it was so strange. I had felt very nauseous, but I had gone out to eat with my friends Bella and Riley, shout out to them. We went to my favorite pizza place, I got my favorite pizza, and I could only eat one piece of it, and I just knew I was gonna throw it up. It did not feel good at all. That night, I found out I was pregnant, and the next day is when I really got sick. So the next day around 6 p.m. I start throwing up. You know, morning sickness is what that's called. So basically morning sickness in your pregnancy is it's the first trimester basically until you're like 12 to 14 weeks pregnant. Some people have morning sickness a little bit through their second trimester. Another thing is morning sickness whenever your pregnancy is oftentimes all day sickness, or it can come whenever. It's not just in the mornings. So I throw up around 6 p.m. and I'm like, oh, well, I'm pregnant, like this is normal. I felt so terrible though. I was like, this really sucks. So I'm trying to drink some water. As soon as I took a sip of water, I threw up again. It was so weird. I felt super hopeless. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna lay in bed. As soon as I sit in the bed, I have to get up and throw up again. And that's when I was like, okay, this is not normal. So I'm throwing up for like 3 hours at this point, and I had to get Tyler to go to the store and get me something. I was like, get me anything that's gonna stop this because I don't know what to do. I was really freaking out. I was just a first-time mom. I really thought morning sickness was gonna be that bad. I couldn't believe it. He comes back from the store with like peanut butter crackers, 2 different kinds of nausea medicines. I take one, I throw it up. I take the other, I throw it up. I drink some water, I throw it up. I try and eat one of these crackers and I throw it up. I had been throwing up for like 5 hours at this point, and it was extremely painful. It was just dry heaving. Like I couldn't even hold down a sip of water. I would be on the bathroom floor for an hour and then try and make it to the bed. I'd get to the bed and immediately have to turn around and sit on the floor. Around 11 a.m. I guess it was like 7 hours of throwing up at this point. I filled up a bath and I lay in the bath, and then when I had to throw up, I'd get up and throw up in the toilet, but the bath was the best thing that helped. I did that for another hour, and at that point I was so dehydrated, I couldn't believe it. I really thought it was just morning sickness, and so I was not trying to go to the doctor or anything because I was like, this is gonna be ridiculous, a pregnant person going to the hospital for throwing up. But around 1 a.m. after throwing up for so long, I could barely keep my eyes open, I could barely move, I was so dehydrated. So we take a trip to the emergency room, and I'm like, hi, I'm 5 weeks pregnant. I can't stop throwing up, and I have a bag and I'm just screaming in the hospital. The lady at the front desk is asking me to like fill out paperwork, and I'm just yelling at her like, help me, help, I'm dying. I had to end up sitting down because I couldn't stand up straight. I was just heaving, just throwing up whatever I could. Eventually they get me back in a room. They give me fluids, like let's hydrate you, but no, I'm still throwing up. They give me some sort of nausea medicine, but I was still throwing up. So they end up prescribing me Zofran, which if you guys don't know, Zofran is basically the most hardcore nausea medicine for pregnancy you can take. It's the most hardcore nausea medicine you can take regardless. If you get a surgery and you have to take medicine that's gonna make you nauseous, then they also prescribe you Zofran so you're not throwing up. The thing with Zofran is when they prescribed it to me, they said, okay, I have to tell you this, it's the law. Basically, there's been a lot of recent research done on this medicine, and it can cause lots of birth defects that can't be detected until your baby's born. And God, that scared the shit out of me. I just found out I was pregnant with a baby. I was so excited, and they're telling me that I'm have to take this medicine now that's could cause her harm. So I'm like, okay. The very next day I try not to take it, and as soon as I open my eyes, I'm throwing up, so I had to take it. Throughout my pregnancy, I went to the hospital 4 or 5 times from extreme vomiting, dehydration. Even with the Zofran, I was taking a pretty high dosage, which scared me a lot, but it was the only thing that would work. Because it scared me so much, there were a lot of days that I went without taking it and just literally fought through the pain. Almost every single day of my pregnancy, I was in bed or on the couch. I could not walk. My daily routine would be wake up, drink some water, hold it down, hopefully. Usually I'd wake up and just throw up immediately because I'd wake up from nausea. After I throw up for the first time, it was always just stomach acid because there could never be anything in my stomach. So I would eat a slice of bread. I would eat half a slice of bread and throw that up, and then I would eat another slice of bread and hold it down, and that was my win for the day. When I first got pregnant, I lost 20 pounds. My average weight is 135. That's where I'm usually at just all the time. I went down to 120 at my worst, I think, which I'm 6 feet tall. That is really lightweight for my height. So that was a big concern. I finally started gaining weight around the end of the first trimester. I didn't get back to my pre-pregnancy weight until the second trimester. At this point, I was still throwing up, and they went ahead and diagnosed me with extreme HG, which I found out was a rare condition, and I found out none of you guys know about it. So that made it even harder. Trying to explain this to people who haven't been through it is impossible because they see morning sickness, and it's not. If you're infected with HG, you can have morning sickness, extreme nausea and vomiting until the end of the second trimester, the middle of the third trimester, or in my case, all the way until you deliver. For my entire pregnancy, eating was terrible. I hated having to eat because having to eat means I was gonna throw up. There were so many times we would try to go to a restaurant because I would think I had felt good, and they bring the food out, and before I could even take a bite, I have to run to the bathroom because the smell just made me nauseous. Everything. My favorite foods, Chick-fil-A, I couldn't eat. Mexican food made me throw up so much. God, even noodles and macaroni. That was the first thing I tried to eat whenever I first got sick. Saltine crackers, I couldn't even eat. Some days, if I could hold down an entire piece of bread, that's it, that's okay. At least I could get something, because some days I really couldn't hold down anything. I wanted so bad to film a video of like a day in the life when I was sick, but I was so sick that I couldn't even get that done. In a nutshell, that's pretty much why I've been completely off the internet, not just because I was pregnant, but because I couldn't function. The last week of my pregnancy, I did pretty good with the nausea. It was actually slowing down for the first time in 9 months. Whenever I went into labor around 7 p.m. when the contractions really started, I started throwing up every single contraction. Contractions are like 5 minutes apart. So yeah, I was throwing up whatever stomach acid I had accumulated in the last 5 minutes. It was really rough. As soon as Layla came out, this is the craziest thing. If you have HG or extreme nausea in your pregnancy or anything that makes you think that you're just gonna be sick forever, just know any pregnancy condition ends when you deliver completely. As soon as I delivered, I wasn't nauseous anymore. I haven't thrown up since then, and I've been able to eat anything I want. Because of how sick I was in my pregnancy, I lost 20 pounds at the beginning, and I had only gained a total of 15 pounds from my average weight at the end of my pregnancy. 15 pounds, my baby was 7 pounds plus the, you know, amniotic water or whatever, and the placenta. Whenever I gave birth, I was under my average weight again. When I left the hospital, I was 130 pounds, which I need to gain weight again because that's insane. And I haven't had to do anything. My stomach's just been like that. With such a hell of a pregnancy, that delivery really made it all worth it, like completely. The fact that I snapped back like I did was great because that's awesome. Who doesn't want that to happen? But it was also, uh-oh, here's my bundle of joy. I'm so lucky she came out healthy. I was so worried the entire pregnancy, not only because of my sickness, but because of the medication I had to be on. It was ridiculous. But to answer your questions, guys, yes, I have lost weight. I've been losing weight for 10 months, even though I was pregnant. I don't throw up anymore. I'm more myself than I have ever been. And I'm finally getting healthy again. My body is so much healthier. I can hold down nutrients now, which is incredible. And you're not taking them all from me. Thank you guys so much, so much for watching this video. It's very important to me. Not a lot of people know about this condition. I definitely didn't. And it was extremely hard for me to find people who knew what I was going through while I was pregnant. If you're going through a really tough pregnancy, if you're pregnant at all, that's tough enough. Find a support group, find people who know what you're going through and talk to them online. You know, there's tons of groups online. They have parenting meetings you can go to, just a million resources, you guys. You're not alone, no matter what. Even if you have a rare condition like I did, just know it's rare, but it's not unheard of. People have been through it before. And also know it's all gonna be worth it. Right, baby? Yeah, baby. I love y'all so much. Give it a like and leave a comment if you enjoyed. Let me know what you missed the most about me being on the YouTubes, because I missed you guys more than anything. I'm so excited. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Bye. Say bye, Lily. Say bye, Lily. Bye. Bye, guys.